Hi, I'm Mike, and today we tackle two very different welding projects on the ranch. The spooler that we use to feed hay every day to the cows has broken and needs repaired. Also, we get to try a new tool called a plastic welder to attempt to fix the pig water tank which split from freezing temperatures. Either that or we make a new pig water tank. Either way, it's all coming up on the project list on our Wyoming Life. Things break around here every day, and sometimes the ranch is with you, and sometimes it's against you. As we look back at the project list behind me, it's growing, and today we aren't going to do a single thing on it. Today we have two projects that need done ASAP. The first is the spooler. I use the spooler every day to feed cows. It's used to unroll a bale of hay behind the tractor and lay it out for the cows to eat. Yesterday, while I was out feeding, the spooler broke. On the back of the spooler, there are two spears that stab into a bale when I pick it up, and then they become the spindle that the bale spins on as it unrolls. The spooler originally came with much smaller spears, only about 8 inches long, that tended to pull out of bales as I used it, so I modified it with longer spears and welded them on. The problem is that one of the spears has had a few issues over the last few years and has broken off a few times. Each time requiring us to find it, as they tend to break off inside of bales, and then re-weld it back on. That's exactly what happened yesterday. I haven't fed the bale that the spear is hidden in, and first we're going to grab that bale, take it out, unroll it, and find our missing spear so we can weld it back on. The second welding project we have today is to fix the broken water tank that the pigs use. It broke a few days ago, and since the tank has broke, we've been hand watering the pigs, which is a giant pain. Today we're going to use a plastic welder that I picked up a few years ago that I've never even used. We're going to use that to try to fix the tank. We'll see how that goes. But first, let's go find our missing spear and get this spooler back up and running. Out and into the tractor. First things first, we have to unroll this bale. The missing spear is hidden away, somewhere in there, so our best bet is to roll it out, then walk back and look for it. It's not hard to miss. A big silver tube with one sharp end about 18 inches long. As we head down to unroll it though, we can see why it's so important to get it fixed. The bale comes right off the spooler because there's really nothing on that side to hold it in. So we go back and get it. Then cut the net wrap off and get to unrolling. Again, the bale falls off the spooler, and this time there isn't enough to even hold on to, so we finish up unrolling it by hand, pushing and rolling and pulling and pushing, then walking back along the hay to find the spear, which isn't here. This is a problem. We can build a new one, but first let's head out and see if we can find it. It's literally like looking for a needle in a haystack. I feed in different places every day, and as we head out to where I fed yesterday, there's no sign of it. Doesn't help that we had a light skip of snow last night, and it was probably just enough to bury it. Rather than spend hours searching for it, let's just make a new one. Totally off subject, but I love coming out and looking at fresh snow. This morning, we saw some coyote tracks by the house, and it looks like they continue out here in the field, where they ran into some rabbit tracks. I bet one heck of a race happened out here last night. You can even see where the rabbit went down at some point, then back up, probably scrambling and under the fence. Okay, back to the job at hand. We're going to give up on the old spear and we're going to go back and make a new one. So it's back to the shop. But wait, we see something in the snow, and wouldn't you know it, it's the missing spear. The ranch gives and takes away. Back at the shop, it's time to get out the welding table. I built this a few years ago to weld on rather than burn up my benches. It works well, although it is a bit heavy and probably needs some better wheels. On it we have an arc welder, a grinding wheel, a plasma cutter, and a MIG welder, along with most of the tools and safety equipment you need for welding. Before we can weld the spooler, we need to take a bit of it apart. Never a good idea to weld on a vehicle with a hooked up battery, and rather than disconnect the battery on the tractor, we'll just remove the spindle from the spooler. After removing a cotter pin and a great big old washer, it slips right out and over to the welding table it goes, where we can take the broken spear and try to figure out if it's going to be able to be welded back on. After some grinding on the spear and then some work with the hand grinder on the spindle, we're able to match them together close enough to re-weld them together. Quick disclaimer here, I am not a welder. I took a few years of welding in high school. That was it. And of course I forgot most of it by the time we came to the ranch. I've had to relearn all that I knew. So if there are professional welders out there, take it easy on me. This is what we call farm welding. Fixing it just well enough so it can break again in a few weeks. It's job security. After a few goes of welding and grinding and welding, I can call the job good enough, and we can get it back on the spooler, replacing the cotter pin and then giving it a bit of grease. And she spins. Not straight, but it'll work. For now. Our next welding project involves the pig water tank. Weather over the past few days has caused the tank to break. Probably didn't help that I was hitting it with a trenching axe, but needless to say, it broke, and now it needs fixed. It's a plastic tank, and because of that, we get a chance to try out a new type of welding that I've never done before. Plastic welding. This plastic welding kit was purchased a few years ago, and since then, it's sat in a drawer. I'm not even sure why I bought it. Maybe it was on sale. But either way, I'm glad it's here today, because inside the box is a welding iron, strips of plastic, and no instructions. Why am I not surprised? But it can't be that hard. We'll figure it out. With the tank up on the welding table, we can get a better look at the crack. And since I'm sure that the melted plastic will stick better to a cleaner and more roughed up surface, we can hit it with a sander. Then it's the moment of truth. With a hot welding iron, we start melting the plastic strip directly into the crack. It's a bit of a slow process, but well worth it. To buy a new stock tank would cost at least $100. The plastic welder was $20. So if this works, then it'll pay for itself. Just to make sure, we're also going to weld the inside of the tank, first sanding it down and then going to work. When we're satisfied, then the moment of truth as we fill it up with water. Letting it sit for a while, then checking the weld for leaks. Here we are, a couple hours later, and it's still holding water, amazingly enough. The plastic welder is now paid for itself after sitting unused in a drawer for a couple of years. You know, one thing I've figured out since coming to the ranch is that there isn't much you can't fix for yourself. Yeah, it's easier to take something that's broken to a mechanic or just go buy a new one. But the little things that you learn as you try and sometimes fail, well, those are the things that stick with you for a very long time, and honestly, I feel those are the things that make you a better person. As we head into the end of 2017, I hope that you take the time to grow yourself as much as Erin and I have since coming here. I seriously doubt that anybody that knew us in our former life of sitting in board meetings and working on budgets and spreadsheets would even recognize us now. Maybe that's a good thing. The project list keeps growing also, and I hope that you will meet me back here next Tuesday as we hopefully get to shorten it, maybe just a little bit. Sometimes the ranch is with you, and sometimes it's against you. Sometimes I like to think of the ranch as a character in our story. And if I had to say if it's good or bad, I'd stick with neutral. Maybe chaotic good. There's a little flashback to some Dungeons and Dragons days. All right, I'm done. The list stands fast on the board, and it waits for us until next time. Join us Thursday for a live stream featuring both Erin and me, and of course our year-end special that's coming up on Sunday. It's going to be a lot of fun as we get a chance to look back at the entire year. We're going to have a few old friends pop in and some new stuff as well, so you don't want to miss it. Make sure you subscribe so that you don't miss a thing, and if you're new here, thanks for finding us. Have a great week, and thanks for joining us in our Wyoming Life.